Shifter Romance, Gorilla Passion 2-part Gorilla Shifter box set. Written by Cynthia Mendoza. Narrated by Artie Rose.
Gorilla Passion Part 1, Primal Craving, Shifter Romance Paranormal Romance Gorilla Shifter. Written by Cynthia Mendoza. Narrated by Artie Rose. Chapter 1, Mating Reluctance. Breland paused outside of the small office building and looked back over her shoulders to make sure that no one was watching her. Content that she was alone for at least that moment, she pulled her skirt up to her waist and wiggled her slip back into place before yanking her shirt back into place. She felt strange in the flared black skirt and cropped suit jacket. The skirt swirled around her thighs just a bit too much for her to actually feel professional, and the jacket made her feel like she was on her way to a funeral. She would have been much more comfortable in a pair of jeans and a t-shirt, or at least in a pair of khaki shorts. Something about a formal meeting with the administration of the zoo where she had her new position, however, gave her that I should look like a grown-up feeling that she never really got when she was dressed for her interactions with the animals. Using the faint reflection in the small window set into the center of the door, Breland fluffed her hair and used one fingertip to try to smudge her eyeliner a little more so that it didn't look so stark against her pale skin. The alarm on her phone told her that her time for trying to get herself situated had come to an end, and she would have to deal with whatever she had managed to accomplish in the somewhat warped reflection. She reached for the door and pulled it open, taking a step forward and promptly catching her shoe on a loose loop in the carpet, so she stumbled and had to catch herself on the front edge of the metal desk, positioned a few feet from the door. Investing in a pair of moderate pumps was going to have to be in her near future. High heels to Jesus simply didn't fit in with the zoo. A startled-looking woman looked up at Breland from the papers spread across the desk, and Breland tried to give her a calm, confident smile that would convince her that she did not just nearly take her out first thing in the morning, because she never learned to dress for work like an adult. Her excitement at getting what she thought was her dream position was waning. This was turning out to be far more stressful than she had anticipated. Maybe she should have never left her field research. "Good morning," she said, blowing a strand of hair out of her face. "Breland Waters. I'm here to meet with Mr. Peterson." The woman at the desk continued to stare at her, but lifted a hand to indicate an office somewhere around the middle of a hallway that stretched behind the entry room. Breland smiled and headed in that direction, hoping she would see a door plaque or something to direct her to the office so she didn't risk further public humiliation. She had had enough for her first 27 minutes with her new position. Fortunately, she didn't have to wander far into the hallway before she heard a booming voice calling out her name from one of the offices. She backed up a step and peeked into the room she had just passed. A large, white-haired man who looked just about as comfortable in his suit as she felt in hers was standing behind a massive mahogany desk, gesturing at her. His belly hung over his belt, and he had that shimmery glow of someone who was either perpetually happy or had enjoyed one too many cups of coffee of the Irish persuasion that morning. She immediately adored him.
"Miss Waters,"
he said again, leaning precariously over his desk toward her so that he could take one of her hands in both of his. His hands fully engulfed hers, and he shook it enthusiastically. "It's Breland," she said, hoping her voice didn't come out as shaken up by his hands as it did in her ears.
"Yes, Breland. So nice to meet you."
"It's nice to meet you too, Mr. Peterson." He finally released her hand to hold his up as if to stop her.
"No, Stephen."
She smiled. Steven.
Sample complete. Ready to continue?